Grambition, where the heart of Grambling beats here.
Mr. Jill.
Stay nice.
Not too good. Be respectful.
Mr. Jill.
What has Mr. Jeff meant to you over the years?
Mr. Jeff Miller been like a father figure to me, big brother. More or less a mentor. I look up to him. I love the man.
How long have you known Mr. Jeff?
I've been knowing hey, how y'all doing? I've been knowing Mr. Jeff Miller for ever since I was in about 4th, 5th grade, and I have graduated high school, so well over, I know a good 10, 11 years.
Do you see yourself staying in contact with Mr. Jeff even though you're moving on for future endeavors since you graduated?
Yes, I do see myself staying in contact with Mr. Miller. Like I said, Mr. Miller do so much for the community, and I want to be a part of that.
How long have you known Big Jeff?
Man, I've been knowing Jeff since undergrad, but he was already working at the Boys and Girls Club when I started about 8 years ago. And for real, I started as an intern, as his boss, but I didn't know nothing about the club, and he had been there several years, so he really helped me get acclimated to the system. And you know, when a new person take over as boss, you know, people fight him, but he always had my back from jump. Like, he always made sure I was good, he made sure he rode for me, and he just made the transition a lot easier. So I definitely wouldn't be here without him. Like, what he do for our kids, for the community, what he's done for our organization. And a lot of times in our profession and what we do, our rewards are not tangible. We don't get paid, we don't get overtime, things like that. So a lot of times our rewards come from intangibles, what we see the kids, the improvement, and the things that we've been able to do with the kids that he served and go out his way on weekends, giving up his late nights, giving up his early mornings to make sure the kids get to basketball games and football practice. I mean, those things go unnoticed, and he should be honored for the little things that go unnoticed that people take for granted that they have and do regularly that Mr. Jeff makes sure that our kids have.
What's some qualities that Jeff possesses that stand out to you, that you know, outside of what he does as a person, his character?
First of all, he a man of God. If you know Jeff, don't play with him and God and Jesus. Like, he gonna serve God. That's number one. And you can't beat a black man in the society that we live in that put God first in his life. So that's number one. And number two, he just compassionate. and then he real. So to be compassionate and real, to tell you and be gentle about stuff, but not sugarcoat it. Because some of us need the hard truth. And I know I'm definitely a strong individual that needs the hard truth. And so for me as an adult to appreciate that quality, I know that there's kids that appreciate that. Don't pretend with me. Tell me the truth. And he has done an awesome job in doing that and being realistic and being relatable to not just him. And sometimes, and to be honest, Jeff come from a good situation. Parents been married, good home, and he still has enough empathy to put himself in the shoes of those kids to understand that the struggle that they're dealing with is not their fault and they need them. So, and those traits are important for a man that want to improve the lives of kids and still steer them in the direction that they need to go.
When you see Jeff with these kids, what do you get from them just seeing him interact with the kids outside of just looking at them? When you're just from outside looking in, what do you get?
I get a male figure, a positive role model that has set the standard, and he's cool, right? So he drives a nice car on rims, he dressed nice, so he's hip to them, he's cool to them, he's everything that they want in a positive way. So they're not looking at a drug dealer with loud music on. You could be a positive man and listen to rap music and do things. So I think he's making it a positive way to say that we're still doing these things. I'm doing what everybody else is doing, but I'm doing positive things in my life. And I think that's important for our young men to see. It's important that it's okay to wear polo. It's okay to have nice car with big rims. It's okay to do certain things, but you have to do them right, and you have to be positive in doing those things. And I think that's important. I think that's what he's showing them, that you could be cool and be positive and do the right things in life. And that's important.
Final thing, he often referred to as the mayor of Ruston, the king of Ruston, whatever it may be.
Right.
Where do you think Jeff will fit in Gramblin's history, being as he's a Grambling graduate? He even went to some of the Grambling, I think, junior high and the elementary. But where do you think he'll fit in the long run with Grambling?
I think that he has been provided a lot of opportunities to serve a lot of kids in the area. So I think a lot of times he goes unnoticed because he doesn't want the praise, he doesn't want the notoriety, he doesn't do anything for people to say thank you. So I think if it wasn't for opportunities like this, a lot of people wouldn't know him and wouldn't know what he's doing. And I think our generation has forced our community to recognize the young people that are doing some positive things in our community. And I think Mr. Jeff will definitely go down as one of those unsung heroes that done so much for our community, so much for our youth. And if we're not careful, we're going to forget about it because he's so humble. So it's important that we establish some credibility and some consistency in honoring those who are doing things that they don't have to do. We are giving back to those individuals who give so much and don't expect anything in return. So I think it's important for you and projects like this and myself to continue to keep the light shined on him, so he is remembered in history as something amazing and something that we need in our community. And some of our young boys that he's impacting their lives, those young boys are going to do the same thing that he's doing, and that's what's important. And being in front of the Eddie Robinson Museum, that's exactly what he did. Eddie Robinson built leaders and football players, and that resonated over the years. And we want to have that same legacy for Mr. Jeff and the young boys and girls that he's impacted now.
He funny, he's cool. Keep your head in the books. Forget about these boys. And stay in school. To be respectful and keep fun.
He's a good person.
kids?
We love Mr. Jeff.
We're here with the man himself, Mr. Jeff Miller, Big Jeff,
Good evening.
the kid's gentle giant. You know what I'm talking about? So what made you pick this particular field, if that's what you consider it? Because you know sometimes they say that your passion is not work.
Right. Well, I'll start. I come from a family of, I guess you could say, educators, people who work with kids. Son of a librarian, grandson of a teacher, sister's a teacher. I got several aunts and uncles that are all in the education system. So it pretty much was, I could say it was it's a God-given talent. So it started back in the day, you know, days of going with my grandmama to NYSP, just being around kids, just being able to get a feel for kids and being able to, you know, just be able to relate. So it all started back then, man. It was like I work with kids, I hang around kids, so it's just quite natural that this is what they're gonna do. I didn't go to school for it, you know. I was a mass comm major at Grambition State. I graduated in '07. It kind of just came up on me, like I was doing mass comm first. You know, growing up, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to be a weatherman. Crazy. Yeah. I wanted to be a weatherman. So fooled around. I took, you know, little pre-classes, you know, to get a feel for just mass comm. And I don't know about me, I went to KTV, Channel 10, went to Monroe. You know, when I looked at the green screen, I was like, oh no, I'm not made for this camera. I wasn't made for that camera, man. So it was like, I need to find out. So then Ms. Lee over in the mass comm department, she came to me about some information graphics. So I started taking pictures. It was like, oh, taking pictures, you know, that's when the Apple got hot. You know, we were designing web pages and things like that. So, you know, I got there, but all this time, I'm an undergrad student. I've been working at the Boys and Girls Club. I've been here since '03. Yeah, I've been here for a little while. So during this time, I'm working in school, you know. She convinced me to change my major to the information graphics. But then, you know, once you get older, you start finding yourself more like, oh, I'm kind of good working with these kids, and it's, you know, it's fun, and I get paid to do it. So I fooled around, and I went and explored a little bit for about, I went and found, I can't even think of the advisor, because I was going to change my major in education, but a lot of the hours didn't transfer, so I was like, oh no, I'm ready to graduate. So I just graduated, got out of there. My first job out of school, I was part-time, I was a teacher's aide. So I was a teacher's aide, and I still working at the club after school. I did that from about '07 to about, I did that from about 7 to maybe 11, 12. Then probably 11. Then I fooled around and I got asked to be a team director. So I was like, well, 2 jobs, it'd be 1 job getting paid for 2 jobs. I was like, well, let's just do the 1 job at the time. So I fooled around and I got on here at the club as a team director. I did that for a little while, still working with kids, doing what I do. So it's like a generation of kids I grew up with at the same time. So did that team director and then went back to the school as a disciplinarian. So right now what I do is I'm the disciplinarian at Glenview Elementary. I drive the bus for the club. I'm the team director here at the Boys and Girls Club. I coach AAU basketball, 8th grade boys with William Brothers basketball program. I coach all-part basketball. I do anything. If you got a kid in Lincoln Parish, Bienville Parish, Jackson Parish, Washita Parish, somebody gonna know me. That's pretty much what I do now. So that's kind of how I got into it.
What feeling do you get when you hear a kid say, Mr. Jeff, whether it's in the grocery store, in the mall, at the park, just out and about in general, even outside of work, and you hear Mr. Jeff, what does that do to you?
Man, it's a good feeling to be, you know, I am a big guy. I'm standing about 6'7". I'm 300 plus. I'm a big guy, so I stick out like a sore thumb around here. But actually, I'm not a sore thumb, you know. A lot of people call me a big giant, gentle giant, because I'm always happy, smiling. It's never a day that I'm going to come off as mean, mad, or angry, because I ain't going to lie, basically, I don't have time for it. And this call comes from my teaching. I go to New Living Word under Pastor Jerry Baldwin. You know, we do a confession every Sunday, every Wednesday, you know. Ain't no point in being down. So I guess all of it has to do with my background. So as far as when kids see me, it's like natural. I can't go anywhere. It's like, Mr. Jeff, hey, how you doing? I'm speaking to parents. Parents looking at me like, well, who are you? Well, I probably met little Billy here or there. So it's not really just a feeling, man. You know, right now it's like, oh, this is what I do.
The kids, as I talk to the kids left and right, asking them what have you taught them, most of them talked about you teaching them God and everything. Do you feel like that is definitely an important part of your teaching outside of, you know, the basic stuff that they should know, but teaching them God?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Without God, nothing is possible. Nothing is possible, man. Hey, Romans 10 and 9. That's what I tell people. They ask me, Mr. Jeff, you say Romans 10 and 9, you better go look it up. Because I'm saved. At the end of the day, I know I'm going to heaven. So like I tell my kids all the time, it's impossible to do anything without him. I tell people all the time, hey, you can be good at what you want to be good at, but if you ain't got God, it ain't going to work most of the time. That's what I'm telling the kids anyway.
And what exactly? I know you're Grambling graduate, 2007. You were in the Grambling school system for early part of your life. I know you kind of wanted to stay in there. You know, let's just throw that out there. And what does Grambling mean to you?
Oh man, Grambling is definitely where I got my foundation from. Like all the way back. If anybody knows, my kindergarten teacher was Miss Henderson over at Emma J. Brown. Man, this all started then. I went to the nursing school, I went to the nursery Grambling because my mom worked on campus, so quite naturally it was like, oh, we going here. So I went to Grambling from pre-K to about 3rd grade. Then kind of everything rolled. Mom kind of, you know, she was in school at the same time, getting certified, do some things, you know. So Grambling is definitely a great stepping stone. Like, I really couldn't imagine my life without anything with Grambling. You know, I do say firmly founded Ruston, but at the end of the day, everybody knows that I got my background from there. Let me see, Miss Henderson. Oh, there's so many people you can name from Emma J. Brown. As far as setting me to where I'm supposed to be at right now, Miss Tippett. I had Miss Tippett, what, that was 2nd grade. And then I had Miss Coleman, 3rd grade. But Miss Henderson is definitely one. Like, I can remember plenty of days in kindergarten, right there behind Emma J. Brown, looking at college students come out of Woodson Hall and looking to my left, looking at the president's house like, man, what is this big house? But not knowing that this is where I was going to go to school at. I graduated from Grambling, like you said. Not even knowing I'm going to Grambling. I'm one of the Ruston kids saying, I'm never going to school here. I'm going to leave and go somewhere else. But it also brought me back to when I came. It brought me back to like a humbling state. Grambling State was definitely the best decision I ever made in my life. I encourage kids all the time. Being that I work with teenagers, I encourage them all the time. Hey, get your education. You got to be good at something, and that's definitely what Grambling taught me. If it don't teach you anything else, it teaches you how to survive. As far as living. It's a lot of things that happen in the Grambling that people don't really realize that definitely life-changing, you know. Even for a kid 3 miles down the road, it's a whole new world once you stay on campus and you get to meet people from across the country. It's definitely amazing from, I think, the culture. It's the Grambling culture, the Grambling way. You know, it's one, everybody like to say, Grambling this, Grambling that. At the end of the day, you go to Grambling, you seeing people from all walks of life that you'll never even imagine. So that's kind of how I feel about Grambling. It's definitely dear and near to my heart. As far as that, I got several family members who went to Grambling State, graduated, siblings. I mean, you name it, Grambling is in it.
And one last thing I might throw in there. What are your future plans, or your Grambitions per se?
They trying to pull it out of me, man. I don't do a lot of talking, man. Like, I just get work done. I mean, me and Young, we talk a little bit. I always talk about a little politics every now and then. Just starting to see, you know, the older I get, the more I see what's going on in my community, you know, and definitely want to be an impactful person. You know, this gift I'm giving is not for me. It's for my community. So I don't know. I'm thinking about running for some positions around town. I don't know about mayor yet. I know everybody call me the mayor, the president. I don't be wanting all that. But I don't know. Sooner or later, my name will probably be in the running. You know, maybe a city councilman. You know, that don't sound too bad on me. You know.
Mr. Jeff, I wanna thank you, man. You know, I feel like this is real deserving of you, and you know, I seen you got the Excellence Award in your city recently. You know, I thought that was well deserving, and I just want to say, man, you know, it's been a pleasure being a friend of yours. Right. Even though you know how I do things, but I continue to pick up guidance and stuff from my friends and try to play off of them, as well as I hope you do the same with me. Right. But you know, the thing that this community needs are more guys like yourself. I hear a lot of people that say, you know, what they might want to do. They talk about their plans, but to see your actions, like you say, I've known you forever, so to see your actions from 03 to now is just it's an amazing thing. And along the way, you've picked up new friends, people that might want to be your friend or just want to be around you. You know, so I mean, we're not gonna take this for granted, and you know, hopefully, you know, I can do a part 2 to this, and it will be because you're in the running for councilman or something. You know, make some good changes around your community and stuff where it matters. You know, but we gonna here at Grambition, man. We gonna tighten you up, man. I see you got the Grambition goal.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Young, man. Shout out to Grambition, LaShawn, and Deshaun. I got my Grambition, man. Plenty more to come. Y'all follow the movement now. Like this not just for fashion. It's just not for show. This is putting Grambling on the map where it's supposed to be. So, you know, you my brother. I support my brothers in any endeavor. At the end of the day, I've always been a solid brother. I'm going to forever be one.
And we can appreciate that, man. Well, we know we're going to have a couple parting gifts for you, some Grambition things me and my brother then discussed. We're going to get them to you as soon as they come fresh out the laboratory, you know. So we thank you, and like I said, hopefully there'll be a part 2 to this real soon.
Cool.
You got any last words you want to say?
Hey, man, with God, anything is possible, man. So everybody out there, like I tell my kids at the end of the day, if you're going to be good, you might as well be great.
There you have it. Grambition. The new Grambling wave.
Yeah.
It's hotter than usual.